So you've made the choice to do this, to go off grid. One of the first things that you need to do is figure out where you're gonna live. Where do you wanna be? Are you gonna be living in the Southwest? Are you gonna be living in the Northeast, the PNW, Pacific Northwest?
What state do you wanna live in? The next thing you need to think about is the county you're gonna move in. Different counties have different building codes. And depending on how you wanna do, you wanna build up to code or you don't wanna build up to code. These are things you should think about. My recommendation is to figure out whether you wanna build up to code or not.
So one thing you need to think about is the climate. What kind of climate do you want to be in? Do you want to be in a dry, arid climate? Do you want to do farming? Do you want to just hang out? Do you want livestock? All of these things depend on the climate that you're going to be in. If you're going to be doing a lot of gardening and growing vegetables and whatnot, you need to think about your water and everything that has to do with the climate. What is your growing season and on and on? Places like Tennessee, Kentucky, more the eastern part of the country is more of a moderate temperate climate. Another thing that you need to think about is the cost. Land can vary in price. It can be extremely expensive. It can be very cost effective. In the Pacific Northwest, you have a tremendous amount of building codes and everything else. You also have things like the cost being tenfold what it would be in the Southwest. Certain states like Nevada, Arizona, certain parts of Colorado, New Mexico, they have cost-effective land. They have land where you can buy 1 acre, you can buy 100 acres, and most people can afford that. Land can vary from $2,000 an acre to $100 an acre. It really depends on where you look and where you want to be.
So when you're looking at land, there's a lot of places out there that'll do owner finance.
When it comes to owner finance, there's generally no credit check. There's no, looking into your background and your job history and everything else. It's just you go, you put a deposit down, and you purchase land and you make a monthly payment. When you're doing it that way, your interest rate will be a little bit higher, but as you grow your finances, you can go ahead and just pay it off. Then you don't have a land payment anymore, or you can buy it outright.
When you do purchase some land, I highly recommend that you have your realtor take you to that lot or the land that you're buying. You want to make sure that it's not just a straight up hill and you can't build on it or there's trees everywhere. You want to look at that piece of property. Even though they're showing you pictures on their website, does not mean that piece of property looks that way. And you also should make sure that you can build on it as well. Ask these different questions with your realtor.
When you buy raw land, you have to keep an eye on things like garbage dumps. A lot of people will dump a tremendous amount of garbage on that property. And then if you purchase it, you're liable to remove all of that. Is the land zoned agricultural? Is it zoned residential? Can you build on it? These are all things that you can ask questions from the person that you purchase with. One of the requirements that I've heard in a lot of counties in Nevada is that they require you to dig a well in order to be on that property and a septic system.
Does it have a community well? Does it have a well on it? How far is the nearest town? Does the nearest town have a place where you can fill up a tote to get yourself water, or water delivery system where companies deliver water to you?
One of the questions that you need to ask yourself when you're purchasing land is, what am I going to do with it? What am I going to do when I'm out there? Am I going to hang out on my couch? Am I going to farm? Am I going to raise livestock? Are you going to be working throughout your day, or all of the above? These are all questions that you need to ask yourself, because different climates will produce different results for you. If you're going to be working remotely via internet, you might not be doing a whole lot with the land itself. One of the more important things about the climate that you live in also has to do with your power. What way are you going to be getting your power? If you're in a really sunny environment, if your land produces a tremendous amount of sun, solar is going to be amazing for you. If you're going to be living in the Pacific Northwest where it rains 6 months out of the year and it's cloudy, you can still do solar. You just need to have a massive amount of it to produce for your power needs. All of these things will be affected by what climate you live in.
Give us a thumbs up, like, it really helps the channel. We really appreciate it. Any comments you guys can make?
Subscribe.
We love to hear what you guys have to say.
Yes.
Yes.
So you've purchased your land, you went out to where it is, you've had a look at it, you agree on it, you signed your paperwork, whatever. Yay, you have your land. Now you want to think about, when do I move onto that land? If you do it in the middle of the summertime and you're in a hot climate, it's going to be very uncomfortable. If it's a very wet environment, it's going to be very uncomfortable. One of the things that we've found is that sometime in early mid-fall is a decent time to move to your land because it's temperate, it's cool outside, you can be physically active, you can be working and not get overheated. It's not the winter time to where you get too cold. It gives you a few months to get the basics set up so that you're good to go when you get there. Our next video is going to be on what do you need to make this happen? What do you need to acquire, purchase, so you're all good to go and get set up quicker, more efficiently, and not run into all the issues. Stay tuned for the next video. We'll see you next time.